So I mentioned the term screen direction. Screen direction refers to the direction people and things face when they're on camera. And it must be the same in all frames in a sequence. This leads to an imaginary line called the action axis that determines that screen direction. This is a line that runs between the main action in the scene, either the subject to the object they're working on, or between two subjects. All shots, all camera positions must then be on the same side of the action axis to maintain that correct screen direction for the viewer. If the camera shoots from the other side of the line, the action on the screen will appear to be reversed to the viewer. That's known as crossing the line or crossing the axis. This overhead diagram shows how this reversal happens. The line here is between the two people, two subjects. Any camera position in the green area on the right side of that diagram will have the fellow in yellow on the left of the frame. If you shoot from the red side on the left of the line, you'll have the yellow guy on the right of the frame. Now if you cut those two shots together in editing, it would look as if he had jumped from one side of the frame to the other. This next video demonstrates this very well.
In this master shot, we've established that the woman is on the right and the man is on the left. That means that whenever we show them, he should be on the left and she should be on the right side. From the overhead, we can show that as soon as we place them for the camera, the placement of the camera can only go anywhere on this side of the line, meaning 180 degrees on this line. We can aim the camera in any direction, but it must be on this side of the line. Now, even though from overhead we can clearly see where the actors are, it's not as clear from what the camera sees. If we break the 180 degree rule and place one camera here and the other camera over here, the camera view shows the actors facing the same direction. Even when the angles are not as blatantly off, it can be disorienting because the actors' eye lines won't match. Now, you can cross the 180 degree line, but you have to show the camera move, like so. Not only do you have to shoot this movement of crossing the line, but you also have to use it in the edit. That way you orient the viewer. Once you're on the other side of the line, you have to stay on it, unless you move the camera back to the other side. Remember, the camera is the viewer in the scene.
So we talked about crossing the line there. There's a number of different ways to do that are described very well in your Bare Bones book, and we'll talk about them a little more when we get into single camera production in the second semester. This screen direction rule also applies to movement of a subject between frames. A subject's on-camera movement direction has to be the same in each frames that are cut together. So if a subject is moving from left to right in one shot, they'll exit the frame on the right. In order to be consistent then, and keep them moving left to right in the next frame, they'll have to enter on the left. This next video gives you a good example of what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, this video doesn't have any audio attached, so I'll try and narrate. So here we have two kids. They entered the frame left. They're moving left to right, and they'll exit on the right side of the frame. In the next frame, they'll enter on the left, and they'll continue to move from left to right, exiting on the right. If you get this backwards and you switch directions from one frame to the next, it'll be very, very jarring. So here's our kids exiting right, moving left to right, and they enter right, moving right to left. It's a jump cut. It's very, very jarring. So again, exit right, enter left, moving left to right. Exit right, enter left, moving left to right. And at the end here, they're going to come around a garbage can, and the one kid will be on the left, one will be on the right, and they'll enter the next frame from those sides. What was missing from that video? I'll give you a hint. It was the same thing that was missing from the ink making video earlier.